Sports.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Braves football. Tonight from Tomahawk Stadium on the campus of Indian Hill High School in beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio, with sunny skies and 70 degrees. It's the Indian Hill Braves playing host to the Finneytown Wildcats. I'm Brian Shaw here with the Hall of Fame coach from Indian Hill High School, the great Kevin Seipel. Coach, welcome back home.
Well, it does feel like home, and this is a special place, and especially when there's a CHL football game going on, it's even better. So I am just thrilled to be here.
Coach, before we get it started with the football game itself, we're going to look at a little bit of video here. The first one we're going to take a look at is athletic intern Lindsey Young. She's going to interview with the athletic director at Indian Hill High School, Brian Phelps. And guys, let's take a look.
Hello, Braves Nation. This is your Athletic Director's Report, and I'm your Athletic Director, Brian Phelps. Today, we have a special guest with us, Lindsey Young. Lindsey is from the University of Cincinnati, and she is an intern here at Indian Hill. She's in her fourth year and a graduate of Walnut Hills. And Lindsey's not our only intern. Tell us a little bit about how we got to know each other and the internship program here at Indian Hill.
Yeah, so I essentially had a class with Brian. It was sports public relations, and then you had the interns from here come in and speak, and I think that's what kind of really pushed me into asking if I could have an internship.
So you are a fourth year at the University of Cincinnati.
Yes.
And what's your major and minor?
Sports administration, and then a minor law certificate for sports media and promotions.
So we now have a handful of UC students as interns and a Xavier, and we've had other interns in the past, and I would say this year and last year and this year has been the best run athletic department from our view because of the help of people like you. So I want to say thank you. You're doing a great job, and I know you want to ask me a little bit about how the fall season's going.
Yeah, I did. So we're kind of like midway. Wanted to hit on a few top sports and then kind of go from there. So first one really is football. Tomorrow's big game. You were going in 6-0. Kind of how are you feeling about that? What does the rest of the season kind of look like, and who should we be watching out for?
Yeah, no, great question. We are 6-0 on the year and undefeated in the conference. It's been a great year so far. Tomorrow night, Friday night, is youth night. We will be recognizing our National Merit Scholars, so that's an important night for us. And it's the Karen Wellington Foundation night, as we will recognize cancer awareness, breast cancer awareness in this case, tomorrow night. So a lot of things going on, a lot of pink being sold. We have, 4 league games left. We have to make sure we take every one of those league games seriously. We're number 1 in the region in the Harbin ratings. That's Region 16 in Division 4, and we've been ranked as high as number 3 in the state in Division 4. So that's all well and good, but you still got to show up on Friday night. As we get through the regular season, we're going to have some great opponents in the postseason. We're geared right now to have a first-round bye, but we know we're going to have some tough games in the tournament, and who knows? This could be our year. We will see.
What have you kind of heard from the coaches and from the team to keep them focused on what's at hand?
Right. Coach Rodenberg is such a great motivator and such a great head coach, and he's been here, done that before with multiple state championships under his belt. So I know that they're really excited about how well the defense is playing. Our defense is very strong. We're giving up less than 6 points a game in 6 games. And then on the other side of the ball, they're also really excited about our offense. You talk to Coach, offensive coordinator Cody Reardon, and we have some of the best players in the city. And right now our quarterback, who's been recently converted from running back to quarterback, is clearly showing he's one of the best players in the state, the region, as multiple schools are calling about him, and he's taking visits for both baseball and football. But he would be the first one to tell you it's not a one-person team. So all the tools around him, we have great skill guys. Our line is really holding up well. We have multiple running running backs, a senior-led team for sure. He's only a junior, so he'd be, again, the first one to tell you that this team's led by the seniors. So there's a lot of good things going, but as you mentioned, we've had some blowouts, and it's our coach's job to keep them focused and ready for the next game, and I think they're really doing that. And that's your athletic director's report with Brian Phelps, hosted by Lindsey Young. Go Braves.
Go Braves.
Coach, obviously a lot going on at Indian Hill High School and a lot of success even outside of the football program here in fall sports. And right now I know Athletic Director Phelps is really busy. He and Michelle and Julius transitioning from fall sports to winter sports. You've been there as an athletic director. You know what that's all about. Really impressed with how much they do to make the experience here for the kids as good as it can be. And that's shown through brightly in that interview. Hey, let's talk about the upcoming game here tonight between the Braves and the Wildcats. Coach, obviously a 6-0 team, a 1-5 team, a team that's not given up any points, a team that's given up a ton of points. We're at a part of the season where we've got, another 4 weeks, I guess, 3 weeks left here to get ready for postseason football. Obviously, the Braves are going to be one of those 12 teams in Region 16. What do you look at in a game like this as a head coach trying to get your football team better?
Yeah, I think the big thing is to not let the kids get complacent and let them start feeling good about themselves and think they only have to just walk out on the field in Finneytown or their opponent's going to just lay down, because Finneytown is down. They've got a lot of injuries and they're struggling a little bit right now. But, for Indian Hill, they've just got to keep growing. It's only halfway through. You got to keep getting better every night, and coach will have things he's working on. These kind of games are nice because you can start working on special things for later. Get things on film or not get things on film. There's a lot of thought going into it.
Yeah, a lot to do here. Well, let's talk about these offensive starters. Let's get the introductions from the kids. Offensive starters, here we come.
Devlin Daniel, number 5, junior, quarterback.
George Vollmer, number 3, senior, receiver, DB. Ashton Graham, number 6, senior, DB and wide receiver. Brady Drozd, number 7, junior, safety.
Ben Sitchell, number 8, senior, receiver, linebacker.
Jackson Fry, number 9, senior, defensive end, tight end.
Jake Freshwater, number 11, senior, wide receiver, DB.
I'm Jacob Alexander. My number's 24. I'm a sophomore, and I play running back.
Coach, that offense, a little run heavy right now. Nobody's making them do anything different. I'll be interested as the night goes on to get your thoughts, particularly about the quarterback.
Yeah, he's special. From the outside looking in, I had heard early that they were moving him to quarterback, and the coach thing kicks in. It's like, my goodness, he's the best running back that I've seen in a long time. What are we doing? But he's so athletic, and I've watched him play quarterback, and I mean, it's crazy how good of an athlete he is, and he's got pieces around him, and it would be tough to defend these guys right now. Yeah, they're run heavy, but when it's the state championship and it's cold and it's windy, that's what you've got to do. You've got to run. You got to control the line of scrimmage on both sides, and they're in good shape. This is a special team, I think.
Well, as good as the offense have been, I think there's an argument to be made that this team is built so far in all its success on the defensive side of the football. Let's meet the defensive starters for Indian Hill.
Joey Jernigan, 12, sophomore, linebacker.
Drew Rader, number 54, 12th grade, offense and defensive line.
Mike Kelpanamini, number 56, senior, defensive end.
Topher Wachtel, 21, sophomore, linebacker.
Hi, I'm James Alexander. I'm a sophomore, number 60. I play right tackle and defense end.
Brody Smith, number 17, senior, defensive back and receiver.
Luke Stellenpole, number 50, senior, offensive and defensive line.
Tyler Fitzgerald, number 10, DB, junior.
Coach, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's kind of hard to lose football games when you're giving up 6 points a game overall and only 2 through 3 weeks of CHL play, and Wyoming's in the rearview mirror. Even with that, only 2 points a game given up.
Yeah, this time of year, you've really got to be able to stop people. You're gonna get through the league play, and then it's gonna ramp up quick, and so if you can stop people, you can stop the run and run the ball. It's the game's much easier. But yeah, they're defensively they're awfully good. They fly around.
Coach, let's talk about the league a little bit with the remaining moments we have. In this league, Indian Hill stands alone, obviously. Madeira also 3-0. Madeira is going to be at Wyoming tonight, and I really think this is a night where it's going to separate people. Madeira is going to be at Wyoming, Marymount at Deer Park, and Taylor is at Reading around the league. Indian Hill comes in, obviously, the stats are off the charts, but Madeira has scored 58 points in 3 league games and only given up 6, so they're right there with Indian Hill, but just haven't played the schedule that the Braves have, Wyoming in essence.
Yeah, once you start kind of comparing scores, sometimes it's a little dangerous to do that, but when you start looking at common opponents and comparing those games, you find out a little bit more. But and CH.
Oh, sorry, we're going to step aside for the national anthem. Don Barker and this Indian Hill High School marching band, a great rendition of our national anthem. Coach, talking about that league, and I guess we've got an opportunity, multiple teams to go into the playoffs at different levels, but this has always been kind of an odd league with big schools and smaller schools.
Yeah, it seems like it's almost could be divided into 2 sections. Some schools would say they're at a disadvantage from the get-go. If there's a starting line in a race that some of the schools are starting 10 yards ahead of the other ones, and it is tough. It's small school football. It depends on numbers, and that's what goes in waves up and down.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I can remember years here at Indian Hill where you had really big numbers of kids involved in football, and I've always said, as Jackson Fry will lead the Braves out onto the field, and we're successful so far. Ran through the banner. It didn't knock him or the cheerleaders down. But I've always said, that's one of the metrics, I think, when you look at how big a program is. 40 kids on this roster now. Some of that might have to do, though, with cultural changes and some concerns that parents have had over the years. And also, just the number of sports that are available to kids right now. Football numbers down a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's it. Kids have so many more choices and options, and you almost have to recruit in your school to keep kids involved, and that's always how it's been. But it's unusual now for a team to have 90 or 100 kids unless you're St. X, Moeller, and Elder.
Yeah. No question about it. Well, we're set for kickoff here. The sun has gone over the horizon, which is fantastic. The temperature's starting to drop. We're below 70 degrees right now. and this Braves team is ready to take the field. Coach, I guess, you look at this part of the season, and as you talked about, everybody playing the same teams when you see common opponents kind of show up. But in this league, it always seems to come down to Indian Hill and Wyoming. And a couple of weeks ago, Indian Hill goes over to Wyoming, over to Bernie Bear Field, and I know that's a good personal friend of yours. You guys have enjoyed so much football together, coaching against each other, just good friends. A win like that at Wyoming doesn't matter if they're up or they're down. They're never really down. But doesn't matter the Wyoming squad. That's special, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. If you look at the history, Wyoming has got so much tradition, and Indian Hill and Wyoming both kind of look at each other as the team to beat to win the league, and that's not always true, but it has been of late. But yeah, it's a great rivalry, and two really good academic schools and athletic tradition. It's I kind of look forward to that being the last game of the year.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when it takes place early. You're really not building toward anything, and Wyoming's not going to get any help. Well, we're ready for kickoff, and the Braves will get the ball first.
Uh-oh.
Dylan Hartman's going to go into Finneytown territory all the way inside the 30-yard line. Braves will be set up in great field position here to start this one.
The special teams coach did a great job there. That wall was set, and I don't think he got touched till about the midfield.
Yeah, that's one I think, Coach, you might have been able to get out to midfield on that with the way that was set up.
I don't know. At one time I could.
Yeah, we're going to be at the 35-yard line. We talked about it at the outset. This Indian Hill team, the splits on it, 76% of the time the run, 24% the pass. Devlin Daniels going to be with Evan Riggs in the backfield, and it'll be Riggs. And Riggs has a hole, and he's going to jump up for a gain of about 7.
Yeah, it's a good job up front. I love the way their linemen, Indian Hill linemen, work together. They look like they're very cohesive and do a lot of adjusting and in the middle of plays.
Coach, I'd have to think at some point, and we'll talk about it after this play, you might have run across John Masali, maybe coached with him, but he does wonders with this line. Daniel with Jackson Fry in motion, and he'll hand again to Riggs. And Riggs will work his way very methodically inside the 15-yard line. John Masali, Coach, you run across him?
Oh, absolutely. He was at Madeira and became very close friends. John he's a great coach. He's one of those guys that's no nonsense, take the hard line, but does it in a way that the kids know that he loves them, and they don't get offended. They know he's just trying to make them the best version of themselves that they can be.
Indian Hill with a first down at the 15-yard line. Daniel and Riggs again in the backfield. This is Hartman in motion, and once again it'll be Riggs right through that Finneytown line, and it looks like he's going to be stopped just short of the goal line.
Finneytown's playing an odd defense. They've got three down linemen, and Indian Hill just pulled the guard and tackle on a counter play, and just nothing but green turf.
Coach, you like to be Evan Riggs about right now with what he's had in front of him. It's Indian Hill blessed. Those guys up front have led to 3 300-yard rushers for this Indian Hill team. We'll see Riggs now, and we'll see a couple other ones throughout the night.
Look, it's just too easy. That looked awfully easy, and they're going to have to really stay focused and keep their heads in this game. And the biggest thing is stay healthy.
Drew Seenan's going to come on with this Indian Hill kick team. Seenan on the year. He's 28 of 29. The group is for extra points.
Indian Hill keeps coming up with these kickers and punters.
A good snap, good hold, and the kick is through. Make it 29 for 30 on the year. And, you know, Coach, there's so much that goes into that. We kind of take it for granted. But at the high school level, to get those three aspects of it, and then I guess a fourth would be protect that
Protect
middle.
him. Yeah, it's a process, and it needs a lot of work. You know, you could have a great kicker, but the snap is too slow, or the holder doesn't get it down. It's just a total operation.
So this Indian Hill Finneytown series goes back to 1967, the first game that was played between these two teams. Indian Hill came away with the win 22-0. They've since played 47 times. This is the 48th meet between these two teams. Indian Hill with a 38-8-1 record in those games. And Finneytown has not beaten Indian Hill since 2011. And Coach, I know you remember some of those Finneytown teams being pretty good football teams.
Well, the last 5 years I was here, we lost one league game. And that was our first league game. I think it was 2003. And we lost to Finneytown. From that point on, we won the next 5 years of league games. So I learned a lesson that night. We had just put in the spread offense, and Mike Scherpenberg was our quarterback, and Finneytown was playing a defense. They had 3 linemen down, then they had 8 great athletes standing up, and I just kept calling passing plays, and all we had to do was run the ball. But so I learned a valuable lesson there. I was so intent on making our new offense work, I didn't take advantage of it.
Zaire Youngblood with the return on that one. Finneytown a little bit more diversified, 60%, 40% run or pass. Run to pass, 60% run, 40% pass. But Coach, a lot of that getting behind and having to throw the football. They've got 2 guys that have scored for them so far this year. Brandon Wise, the quarterback, is the only guy that scored in the run game. And then the guy we just mentioned, Zaire Youngblood, with 5 touchdown receptions. And that's it. No field goals, nobody else getting in the end zone. So Finneytown with limited numbers, 28 guys on this team and 18 upperclassmen.
I talked to their AD for a minute before the game, and he said they started off with 38 players, and they've had some injuries, and they're struggling right now. But he said the kids haven't given up. They're still fighting, and they're still coming to work every day.
Jaleel Youngblood with the carry on the right side, and gains a good 8 yards. And that's one of the things I think, Coach, you think about a mismatch of schools like this, getting out and getting in front of the chains and being on time. Don't get behind the sticks. Don't have penalties. Give yourself a chance. Nice first play by Finneytown.
Yeah, it makes a big difference when you just set the tone early, especially with young kids, because they're pretty emotional.
Wise is going to throw it out, and I think that's going to be ruled incompletion.
I think you're right.
I don't think he ever really had it, and that's what they're going to. Well, no, they're going to say it was a catch and a fumble.
They might have to go to replay on that one. I agree with you. I think he never had possession. Maybe they'll talk about it.
It looks like they're going to summons everybody. Yeah,
gotta like that if you're the Indian Hill sideline.
Yeah, Coach, I don't know if we have a replay on that in the truck. Take a look, but that was awfully quick.
Yeah, Indian Hill's defense swarmed pretty quick and hit him right as the ball was getting there. So.
Yep. Braves offense going to take over again with great field position. This is a ridiculously good field position at the 13-yard line. And now we're going to see the sophomore for Indian Hill. Jacob Alexander is going to be back there with Devlin Daniel. We saw Riggs in the first series, and it's going to be Alexander getting the carries here. One of the 3 guys with 300 yards, of course, the third one, besides Riggs and Alexander, would be Devlin Daniel, and he's going to hand it to Alexander going left side, and he's making his way very nicely into the end zone. And a touchdown for the Braves.
I think, we talked about earlier, what do you do in situations like this, when the game, it looks like it might be one-sided, but
It's like we're going to have a hold, coach, and you're going to bring that one back. I'm sorry.
no, it just, it gives you a chance to build some depth and get some of your guys you're going to need next year, and get them some valuable playing time where you're running the offense and running the defense, not just trying to run the clock.
Jacob Alexander, a good size running back in this league, 6'2", 190 pounds, just a sophomore.
Wow.
And he has had a great year, 55 carries, 5.5 yards per attempt, a couple of touchdowns. And he's played good defense, 14 tackles. Daniel's going to be back there by himself. Jackson Fry, the H-back.
They got quads on the right. Singled over here. I bet he throws a fade up to this side.
And he hits
Right down the
Jackson
middle.
Fry for a touchdown. Jackson Fry has scored both on the offensive side and the defensive side. Week 1 with a pick 6.
Daniel made that play work before he even threw the football. He made a fake to the motion man coming across, and with his eyes, he moved that safety over, and that receiver came in right behind the safety and made it just an easy pitch and catch.
Drew Seenan going to get another chance here with just under 5 minutes on game clock. Having been used up, and he's good again. Hey, Coach, you teach quarterbacks. You teach a good number of things in football, but I know quarterbacks have long been a specialty for you. You think about Devlin Daniels stepping out here for the first time playing football as a quarterback at the varsity level. What do you see from him week to week in progression?
Yeah, you can tell obviously he's a great athlete, but great athletes cannot always play the position of quarterback. There's so many things involved. You've got to communicate, you've got to lead, you've got to get him in the right formation, you've got to get the right snap count. I've heard kids say all the time, he can really throw the ball, he's your quarterback. There's so much more to it. And he looks like he's starting to really get comfortable. He's getting great coaching, obviously, and he's coachable. So, he looks like he's played there a long time.
This Braves coaching staff, of course, the offensive coordinator, Cody Reardon. You know Cody's dad, longtime coach out of New Richmond and at Holy Cross, and an old Indian Hill player that actually was here after you, which is Ty Thornton, the quarterback's coach. So you're right, he's getting a lot of help.
I didn't know that. They did have Brad Hamilton coaching. He played back when I started.
Yeah, Hamilton's still on the staff.
Well, he was a great running back.
I think he might have linebackers this year. I'm not sure. But been here a long time.
He's got a nice staff.
Yeah.
And that continuity is what helps. Kids know what to expect. Trainer's been the same. You got common coaches. They're just treated well, and and they've just got it going right now.
Steve Metz on that staff.
He's a dear friend. I love Steve Metz.
A Wyoming kid. And then, of course, Jalen Thornton, Ty's brother, a defensive line coach. Looks like he'd be a handful out there right now. Brandon Wise, he's had a great year for Finneytown. He's back there to play quarterback for the Wildcats, and he's going to work his way up the middle of the field, get stopped after a gain of maybe 1.
Looked like there was a hole there for a minute, but it closed up pretty quick.
Coach, talk about this. I mean, this team has changed its defensive formation. John Rodenberg, the defensive coordinator, as well as the head coach. They've changed things, and Coach, it just seems like they're all over the place, to your point, flying around the field.
Yeah, he's adapted his scheme to the athletes he has, and that's what you have to do at the smaller schools. You can't just run the same thing every year and then fit the kids in. You've got to fit the system in around the kids.
Wise looking to pass. He's going way downfield.
He's got a
Hartman
chance.
In coverage, and Hartman's going to come away with the football.
Took it away from him.
Hartman's got blockers out in front. He's got wide open space, and to the credit of Jaleel Youngblood, he stays with the play and makes the tackle.
He was about half a step or a step beyond the defender and was open. The ball was thrown very well. Our number 4 just went up and took it away from him.
Yeah, really nice play there, and a well-thrown ball, just maybe a little bit late.
Yeah, a little bit short, but it's definitely a 50-50 type thing, and that's 2 turnovers, first 2 possessions. That's tough when things are going badly.
Yeah, a team that can ill afford to make mistakes like that. But here we are, and we're going to have the 3rd running back of the night for Indian Hill. Ashton Graham, the senior, is going to be back there with Devlin Daniel.
This little slip screen. See, they're mixing it up.
Daniel to George Vollmer, and Vollmer is going to pick up a first down and be all the way down to the 22-yard line. Hey, Coach, this pass game, it's interesting. You know, they don't do it as much as you might think they at some point will. But, you know, you get the top 2 receivers both averaging over 24 yards a catch. Daniel just makes you defend so much of the field.
Yeah, he a good play caller and a quarterback who can put the ball wherever they need it. But the passing game so far has been very controlled, and you can tell he's on his progressions, and these guys run with the ball after the catch. That's a big part of it.
Formation penalty going to bring the Braves back and make it a 1st and 15. And Graham's going to get the ball. And Ashton Graham is going to work his way into a pile of defenders and get almost to the first down marker. It's going to set up, I think, a 2nd and short.
There's another one of those nice counter plays. They do a great job with that. They usually pull a guard and a tackle, but if the tackle's covered up, they'll just make a call at the line, and the guard will go by himself. But the misdirection back there and knowing that Daniel can pull it and go the other way is tough to defend.
Ashton Graham, 6'3", 195, a senior, first year of playing football in Indian Hill High School. And, Coach, you got to love that about the CHL.
Yeah, you look at that stuff, and the longer I coached, the more I wanted to make sure, above anything else, the kids had a great experience and great memories of what football was like for them in high school. Yeah, the winning is nice, but, that's a great thing for that young man. He's come out his senior year and get to go through this with his buddies. It's life-changing sometimes.
Yeah, he's had a great run. Big part of that state Final Four baseball team and basketball player as well. Daniel with pressure, he's going to get it off, and that's a completed pass to Smith, and he's going to get all the way down to the 12-yard line.
That was a nicely set up screen, but they got somebody through and had pressure on Devlin, and he was still able to escape and make the throw. I was afraid we'd have linemen downfield on a screen. When you get a late throw like that, some of the linemen drift downfield.
So the Braves knocking on the door, already up 14-0 here in the first quarter.
There it is. Look at that.
Coach,
Wow.
You look at a situation like that, tell me what's going through your head.
I mean, I just can't help feeling sorry for anybody that has to defend him. He's the real deal.
It's funny, you just watch maturation. Of course, he played a ton as a freshman. He was a starter, had some injuries and was out a little bit, but you just look at how he's matured and his style of play and, a leader. I was fortunate when he was a freshman to have him for basketball. I think you came over, that was the year you were at LaSalle High School to see us play. And, Devlin, I think we could have run plays for Devlin all night and gotten him about 6 points, but that wasn't the point. Great teammate, a guy that, there were no 50-50 balls when Devlin Daniel was on the floor. They were 100-0 balls all in our favor. And a guy that would do anything to help his teammates. And that's really, Coach, where I had an appreciation for him. He's doing that to stay in shape and be part of something and be with some guys and the friendship and the camaraderie. But he's out there playing harder than anybody and doing it for his teammates. And when he wasn't in the game, he's up cheering for guys. I think the one thing about this quarterback is every one of these kids gets the sense of how good a person he is and how much he cares, and he's a winner, and they want to follow him.
Yeah, and he's handled the success so well. I got to meet him as well, and he's so humble, and you know, when coaches' kids tend to be like Devlin. Now, not as talented, but they usually do things right. They usually have a positive attitude. They usually are leadership because that's all they hear. And I know his father is a great baseball coach, and he's just a good kid, and there's no jealousy or anything that he's having too much success. These kids love him and respect him.
Daniel took it down right at the goal line, and the Braves are going to have an opportunity here. Both Ashton Graham and Evan Riggs in the backfield with Daniel. And it's going to be Ashton Graham in for the score. Talk about that formation, Coach, and what that presents late in the year when you see two backs there.
Yeah, you got three backs there because, you know, that he could fake to one of them, hand to the other one. He could fake to both of them and keep it himself. You know, as good as they are up front, there's so many things you can do with that split back. And you've got a smart guy. You know, Devlin is smart. He knows what to do with the ball and distribute it.
Santa once again is good. And this is a guy, you know, looking at the kicking game, Coach, when these games start to tighten up in the postseason, it's a guy that's had 8 attempts field goal-wise, which is more than I've seen in recent years. And he's been 7 of 8 with a long of 35. But did you ever go into a postseason with a kicker that you felt like you were confident 35, 40 yards might be able to give you a chance?
Oh, absolutely. At the end of my stay here, we had Zach Minturn, who was really talented, and we had so much confidence in him. And we got to the point the years prior that we got some kids from the soccer team who would share their athletes. So we were able to do okay. But Zach was good from 50. Pretty consistent, very consistent.
Wow. That changes play calling a little bit. You're not taking any undue risks and holding on to football. You're always in scoring position. And this one's going to go into the end zone over the head of Jaleel Youngblood. Coach, some games around town tonight. Moeller, number 1 Moeller, is at the pit to play Elder, number 2 Elder. Who you like in that one?
I got to go with the Mighty Mo.
They look
the
pretty
Mighty
good.
Mo, yes.
You know, another guy, a baseball, football combination guy, Ed Moeller at the quarterback position, and going to go down to University of Kentucky, I think, and play both for the Wildcats. Ron Colley is at LaSalle tonight, Coach. That they call the John Rodenberg Bowl. He won a state title at Ron Colley in Indianapolis and graduated from LaSalle back in 1982.
How about that?
I'm going to go with the local team, LaSalle Lancers. And here's a handoff going nowhere. And this Braves front three that they've been playing with, Coach, you know, keeping these linebackers clean. And one of them that's benefited right there, number 21, Topher Wachtel, just a sophomore, statistically having one of the great years for Indian Hill defensively.
Yeah, his name stood out to me. I remember when I first heard you say his name on the air, I thought, boy, that's a great Heisman Trophy winner name.
Dad, a punter at Notre Dame, 38 tackles on the year, 5 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, Coach.
And he's only a sophomore. There's a nice run.
And a good run out there for Finneytown.
That's some positive.
Yes, sir. And, you know, you like to see that, Coach. I know everybody wants to win, but you also want to see kids have success. Hezekiah Davis out there, the sophomore, 5'6", 165 pounds. And as they always say, Coach, it's not the size of the dog in a fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
Yeah, this is, you know, and I've been on both sides, and it's, you know, when you're on this side of it, it's tough. You got to really look hard for your success and the steps you're taking to get to, you know, where an Indian Hill team is.
And here's a handoff to Vincent Fogey. We haven't mentioned Fogey's name tonight. fantastic back, the 5'10", 160-pound. He was second-team CHL last year, and he's averaging 5 yards an attempt this year. Also playing a lot of snaps and racking up a lot of tackles on defense. It's going to be a 4th and 1, about a 4th and 5. And we're going to see the punt team out here for
I think this defensive unit is really, they're not showing any signs of looking past this one. They're going full speed, going after them.
Alex Anderson back to punt for Finneytown. Dylan Hartman on the receiving end for Indian Hill. Stands at his 40.
They're going after it. They blocked it.
Braves block it, and it's picked up by George Vollmer, and he'll go in for a touchdown. And the Braves, at this point, like Abe Lincoln, up 4 score.
Well, scoop and score. Yeah, they probably had 3 different people block that. They overloaded that right side, and there are just too many guys there to block. And
well, Coach, I think you're going to be down at 50 West with Bobby Slattery here before you know it with that running clock. Holy smokes. Yeah,
I was afraid that was going to happen.
And here we go, another extra point opportunity for this Indian Hill special team squad. Hey, Coach, something I've been thinking about, with regard to kickers, when they've got an extra point, boy, they just bang it through, and it's a real easy leg sweep, and everything looks beautiful. They get out to about a 40-yard attempt, and all of a sudden, maybe trying to do too much, kind of like you on the tee box.
I knew that was coming. No, kickers are, the good ones are very mentally tough. But yeah, when you back up to 30 or 35 yards or what they think is their limit, then they really try to, you put too much into it, and it changes their whole fundamental, their whole technique. And yeah, it's just a matter of getting that plant foot in the right place and coming through it exactly like they do 1,000 times during the week before the game.
Talking about games elsewhere tonight, I know we talked about some marquee matchups, but the one on the mind of both Coach Seipel and myself would be Anderson and Turpin. And our favorite coach out there, the great Indian Hill Hall of Famer Brian Walker, who's got his Turpin Spartans playing pretty good football, Coach.
Oh, I love Brian Walker. I was able to coach him, and then he was on our staff, and he's a good football coach. And I know how he's feeling tonight. He's one of the most competitive humans on this planet, and he's always feeling like Anderson is getting the benefits of in that district, and Turpin kind of get what's left. And I know he'll have those kids ready tonight. It'll be, I don't know if he'll win, but they'll know there was a football game.
Big return by Jalil Youngblood's going to get wiped out on a holding call. So they'll move that.
I hate to say it, but when you're playing an opponent like this, the best thing to do is what Indian Hill's doing. You just get on them right away and make sure it's not even, almost take the heart and soul out of it.
Hey, Coach, I think that's the hard thing about this league. We know we've got Division 4, 5, and 6 teams in this league. You don't always see that in every high school league, but at the football level, it's one thing in baseball or basketball. Boy, basketball, you get run by 30 points. In football, the physicality and not being able to get off the field, that's tough.
It is tough, and when you're on the wrong end of it, it's really tough. And but the other problem is that when the league is down a little bit and there's only 2 teams that are winning a lot of games, with the Harbin point system, you have to have your opponents winning. So if the whole league isn't doing well, then you better be playing some pretty good non-league opponents, and you gotta beat those guys. So
Brandon Wise gets stood up, and Finneytown's going to be behind the sticks here, 2nd down and 11. A low snap, Wise going to jump on it. Joey Jernigan is going to come in and make the tackle. And that's going to be a big loss, putting him into a third down, Coach. And you know what happens when you're third backed up like this is we're going to see that snap. And Joey Jernigan, I kind of liken him to one of your old-time favorite players, Gary Fensick. Just total reckless abandon. That's a guy that's going to go 100 miles an hour, whether it's a brick wall or it's a pillow.
And those are the guys that coaches love.
Yep, absolutely. Kind of got a West Side sensibility.
He's a West Sider, yeah.
I love it. So here we go, 3rd and 25, and I guess this is where ball hawking comes out. See, these Braves defenders have an opportunity. Good play call.
And he fumbled.
Oh, jeez. Wise hits Caleb Williams for a nice play, but looks like we might have had a fumble and a turnover here. Let's see where. Still haven't gotten a call, Coach.
That was a very well designed play, a little tunnel screen out here to the wideout on the right side, coming under everybody, and he had some. It looked like he had about an 8 or 10 yard gain, and then got the ball jarred loose.
It is going to be Braves football once again. Indian Hill going to start deep in Finneytown territory. Corey Johnson, his first season at Finneytown. He's former offensive coordinator at Hughes. He was at Wilmington, also at Northwest High School, Don Flint's old school. He's an intervention specialist at Finneytown. As the Braves set up with Alexander alongside Devlin Daniel in the backfield. Daniel going to make a long throw out to the perimeter. And nothing doing there for the Braves.
That has to happen faster. That fast screen it's got to get there right now. And
Ben Sitchell on the receiving end, 6'2", 180-pound senior, says thanks a lot. Got the defense bearing down on me. Can we get that out there? Coach Johnson replaces Armand Tatum, who left Finneytown as we're at the end of the first quarter, Coach. It seems like we played 2 or 3 quarters looking at that score. But he replaces Armand Tatum, who left Finneytown to be the assistant offensive line coach at Moeller. Coach Tatum, rough sledding while at Finneytown. 1-20. 1-20, he said, in the CHL, and 5-25 overall. So Coach Johnson got his hands full. Again, 28 players, 18 upperclassmen. The coach, through one quarter, I think you like the way that Indian Hill is playing things straight up and still working and trying to get better. You don't see any let up from this team.
especially on defense. The defense is playing extremely fast, extremely hard. Offensively, you know, they're doing whatever they want to do, and it just looks too easy. So, you know, you just have to keep working on little things and decide what you want to get better at, and then let these young kids come in and play.
So the Braves are going to set up shop here to start the second quarter, just outside the 25-yard line of Finneytown. Daniel back there with Alexander. He'll put Hartman in motion. And Alexander is going to take it middle of the field, getting all the way up to the 16-yard line, Coach. Good looking back. I like just the way the guy moves. Very fluid in his running, especially for a guy that tall, 6'2".
Yeah, what makes that play work so well is the misdirection, because they fake that jet sweep and then hand the ball off to the back coming underneath with a guard pulling, and you're right. He's got great forward lean. He can run over you or stick his foot in the ground and run past you.
Third down and 4. Hartman, and it's dropped and wouldn't have had anything anyway, Coach, looked like. Nice job by that Finneytown defense to recognize. That's a couple of pass plays where I think Finneytown's defense done a pretty good job.
Well, they haven't quit, and that was just another one of those tunnel screens wide to the left, and Finneytown got there as quick as the ball did. 4th and 4,
and the Braves are looks like they're gonna go for it, given the spot on the field. It's a Finneytown team that has given up 33 points a game in CHL play.
Saw that one coming. Wow. another version of that same play. They fake the jet and then fake the counter to the back, and then the quarterback keeps it, and there's a huge gap up front.
Hey, Coach, the decision-making and the ball handling skills right now from Daniel, you just start to see that progress week in and week out, right? So Indian Hill first and goal from the 5. Again, with the two-back setup, Alexander back there with Riggs. And Alexander's going to get it, and he's going to get it all the way down to the 1-yard line.
Indian Hill's working harder now. I mean, Finneytown is not, the first drive, it looked like they weren't as motivated, but these guys are showing some pride here. They're fighting.
This Indian Hill offensive line, I think it's worth noting, lost 2 massive tackles from last year. 2 guys that are playing on Saturdays right now. And then Drew Rader, the guy that they had out at tackle, brought him inside to guard number 54, 4-year starter at the varsity level. And Alexander is going to go in. And the Braves are up 5 scores, Coach.
See, their tackle ran upfield. It was a trap play, and the guy over him blocked down, and he's supposed to stay on the line of scrimmage. But he ran upfield, and our guard pulling didn't really even have to block him because he'd taken himself out of the play.
Coach, I think we've got about 200 cheerleaders down here. I wondered why I couldn't hear you. Seen him with another opportunity, and he bangs that one through.
I'm telling you, Brian, when I went to Georgetown College to play, this atmosphere here is 10 times better than at that time they were Division II college level. So a lot of these kids, they've got an athletic program, they've got athletic facilities that are going to be much better than what they see in college.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, I really, truly feel that way. The home of the Braves complex, that baseball field. You coached baseball, won a league title here. The tennis courts, the gymnasium. I always like our gym. It's the oldest facility I think we have in the district, but yet it's the most comfortable. It seats a lot of people. It's a great place to play basketball. I always think we should host tournament games there. It's a heck of a lot easier
I agree.
to get to.
It's everything. You can tell from the top that the superintendent and the board supports athletics, supports extracurricular activities, because there's a lot of money being spent on these facilities, and they are first class, top notch.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to beat an opportunity to play multiple sports and have great experiences. That one's going to go all the way down to the goal line, and Youngblood's going to bring it back. Youngblood still inside the 20, and he's going to be dropped at the 16.
Yeah, good kick all the way down there to the goal line, and the coverage is there. And, whatever your role is, that's the thing I love about football. Everybody can have a role, whether it's just running down on a kickoff or being the holder on extra points. Everybody's got a job to do that's equally as important.
Yep. Talk about this Braves coaching staff. I know, talking to Coach Reardon, the offensive coordinator, he actually goes to Coach Masali, asks him, based on your line, what do you think we can do? What do you think we can do really well?
Well, that's huge, because a lot of guys like to do it the other way and design the play and then talk to the line coach. And that's completely backwards.
Yeah, great group of guys. Dorian Magruder, class of, I think, 2016 on this staff as well. Got a good mix of guys, different ages.
A tunnel screen again. That must be the new fad play of the week. That's about 5 times.
Brandon Wise on the money with Zaire Youngblood. Youngblood doing a nice job catching that ball away from his body, getting upfield.
Just an opportunity to get your athlete the ball in space on a high percentage pass.
Zaire Youngblood, second team CHL last year. Doing it on both sides of the field. 22 receptions, 5 of them touchdowns coming into this game. And on the defensive side, with 31 tackles and a couple of interceptions. Wise back there with Foggy. And he's going to wind up and let it roll. George Vollmer, the closest guy in the area, but 3 Braves helmets back there, along with Jaleel Youngblood.
You know, Finneytown's kids, you can watch and you can tell they are very well coached and they're playing hard. They're just outnumbered.
So, I mean, you know, Coach, you look over on that sideline, you know, and you look at the number of helmets off the field right now, and it's just, you know, there are more guys on the chain gang over there than there are guys standing with helmets.
I'll tell you why that's important, because during the week when you're trying to prepare for Indian Hill, to have people to go against in practice is impossible. So you can't get a look of what it's going to be like.
3rd and 5. Wise once again with Fogey back there. And he's going to get pressure. He's going to try to step through and unable to do it. Drew Rader. Malik. And Mikel Benomini going to meet at the quarterback and bring him down. And it's going to be 4th down. Well, Coach, no turnover there. We're going to have the second punt of the night for Finneytown.
Again, I'm so impressed with their defense. I think everybody hears about Devlin and think that he's the one-man show, but you know they've done a great job with their special teams, and their defense is probably the best in the CHL.
Mikel Benomini, really a guy with a frame that can be a difference maker for this Braves team as they get into postseason. 6'4", 265.
They're going after it again.
Nice job of getting that off, and a great run up and catch by Dylan Hartman. Saved the Braves 10, 15 yards on that.
And that's a little thing that people don't notice. They send everybody after the punter, so therefore nobody is blocking, so you tell the return man who's back there by himself to fair catch it and get it caught. That's all you got to do. And sometimes that thing hits the ground and bounces 20 more yards.
Yeah, this Braves team, you know, Coach, it looks to me like they're finding little opportunities to get better and get reps and, you know, improve as a team, and that's really what you want to do.
I'd love to have had time to walk down the field and ask the coaches what they want to work on, what's their main concern right now.
Ashton Graham, he's going to work left side, and he's going to pick up 8 yards on the carry. Ashton Graham coming into this game having carried the ball 28 times and 1 score, and he just continues to get better. And why wouldn't he? He's only working on 30-some carries in a career. He's going to get much better.
That's what you want at this level, and we get wrapped up in the state championships and playoffs and all that, but you just want to help kids get better, reach their full potential.
Daniel putting touch on that ball. He's got Smith at the border, and that is a catch. And that ball's going to be all the way down inside the 10-yard line. Nice touch there on that ball.
Nice touch. I think he would want that back to lead him a little bit more, but the kid ran a great route, and they did a little play action fake, and he laid it right out there for him with air under it. Made it easy.
So Braves will set up 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. 35-0 with 7 minutes, 8 seconds left here in the second quarter in week 7 of high school football here in Cincinnati. And that's the hand to Ashton Graham. He's trying to get to the corner. He will, and he'll cut it up and get positive yardage all the way down to the 3-yard line.
They're totally complete in their offense. They're attacking the inside, the A and B gaps. They're running sweeps to the outside. He's throwing the ball very well balanced tonight. These games are really tough. Everybody thinks when you win like this, it's real easy. It's so hard because your varsity kids want to play as long as you let them. The young kids want to get in there. You're worried about running the score up and what the other opponent's going to think. There's so many things going on.
Graham Cook, the sophomore H-back, going to check in, 6'1", 210 pounds, and there it is, right up the middle, and the Braves are on the board again.
See, I don't know if it's me, but they're making this look so easy, almost like they're coasting and not exploding and accelerating on the offensive side of the ball. But
Ashton Graham with his second touchdown as a high school varsity football player. And the Braves jumped out here 41-0. Seenan once again, sixth time he's been out tonight for the extra point. Came into this one 28-29. And another good snap, good hold, good kick.
this is when the coach is looking for things to scream at him about it at halftime to keep them excited and keep them intense.
You want to go down there and scream at them at halftime? You want to scream at me at halftime, Coach?
Those days, I work a little bit with, and I see Dan Topping, who was one of our assistants back in the day, and Dan has one of these minds that he remembers everything, and he was, I think we coached together 14 years, and he imitates the things I said. I don't even remember saying them, and it's like, I said, I don't even want to talk to you anymore, because it's embarrassing, some of the things that you do to get kids excited, sometimes.
Dan Topping, one of the all-time greats here at Indian Hill, both as a player and as a coach. Out at Norwood, again, another guy we're thinking about tonight, wishing him all the success in the world. Coach Kevin Seipel, 113 wins here at Indian Hill, second all-time to Joe Clark, which means you were about 1 year away from passing Joe Clark, as Seenan will kick it. That might go out of bounds, Coach. And it kicks into the end zone. That's the one thing that they could probably yell about had that ball gone out of bounds. But Coach Seipel, 113 wins. And Tony Arcuri, did Tony coach for you? Was he an assistant? He's third on the all-time list with 64 wins. Some great coaches. Joe Clark. What do you know about Joe Clark?
Just the most gentle human. I remember when we were trying to get things going, I had him come over. I wanted him to talk to the kids, and I wanted to have a Joe Clark night and introduce him, and he wanted nothing to do with it. He came over and talked to me and met with me, but he did not want any attention.
It looks like we're going to have a procedure penalty here. By the way, did you see that Monday night with Ted Karras and the lifting of the helmet? What did you think about that?
I get frustrated because I think the Bengals, and maybe I'm just a homer, but I just feel like they create their own problems, but they get the strangest calls that I've ever seen. And that one was one of them.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I guess he's not supposed to be able to look up and see who the heck he's blocking.
They're afraid he's acting like the snap.
Wise hands it off to Youngblood. Youngblood working for yardage. And he is going to get within a couple of yards of that first down marker. It's going to bring up a short 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2. Coach, was that your favorite as a play caller? Was that your favorite down and distance, 2nd and short?
Oh, sure. Yeah, the playbook's wide open, and that's when everybody wants to give you a play. When it's 3rd and 18, I can't find an assistant helping me or a parent.
So the headset's full. It's 2nd and short, 3rd and long, not so much. And boy, you talk about quarterbacks. You had some guys that could deliver the ball. And here they come. Braves showing blitz. Let's see what they back off into coverage. And they're coming. Opportunity on the outside. Fitzgerald in coverage, and a great job bringing that one in by Zaire Youngblood. Once again, making a great play. Again, second team All-CHL.
We got pass interference as well on the Braves. That was
as a junior.
That was a tough play. He made a great play there. That'll be on his highlight tape.
Yeah, and you talk about one of the all-time great kids. Fitzgerald is Tyler Fitzgerald, just a tremendous worker. Just a role guy, a guy that can get out there, and he has played excellent football this year.
I got to believe, just knowing Coach Rodenberg the way I do, that if you're not a good worker, you're probably not in uniform.
Wise going to keep it, and he's going to be stood up at the line of scrimmage. Great job there, Evan Riggs, the first to get there. And Riggs has just been tremendous. Really, Coach, you talk about how many guys are impacting this team way beyond Devlin Daniel, but Riggs, really the heart and soul of this team, both sides. I mean, he's running it for, well, now over 8 yards a clip, 7 touchdowns on the runs, a touchdown reception, and he's a leading tackler, 51 tackles, 8.5 of them for loss. And Coach, talk about that disruption. When you're getting back there and you're causing disruption.
Well, you know, if you don't, the Bengals have gone through it. If you're not creating problems for the other offense, you're going to have a long year. Eventually, you just can't live without playing good defense.
Joey Jernigan, we talked about his sellout nature, a guy going 100 miles an hour all the time, and what a play that was.
They've got playmakers, and they're not, you know, it used to be that your linemen were big kids who weren't as quick and their feet weren't as quick. Now these linemen are so fast, and their first step is so quick.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, you think about it, 40 years ago, what's the Super Bowl offensive line look like, and what's it look like today? Wise, back to pass. He's looking, he's getting pressure, and he's going to go down.
They're still coming after him.
Tyler Fitzgerald and Evan Riggs both there to get him. And they are bringing pressure, and it's going to be 4th down and forever.
This isn't as easy as the Braves are making it look, because that quarterback can move. And if you leave an alley open, he's going to scramble and get through it. So they're getting pressure, but they're also keeping their gap integrity so that he can't get loose.
Brandon Wise has run for 4 touchdowns this year, and he's the 4th leading passer by yardage in the CHL. He's a good football player, but it's tough sledding right now. We're going to have a timeout for Finneytown. And Coach, you know, the other thing is Finneytown, the school district, has changed a little bit. You think about 45 years ago there. I mean, I know that's a long time, but this is a school that's winning multiple state championships in the game of soccer. Always been a lot of Procter & Gamble employees living in there. I mean, I know that area,
Wow.
Winton Road, forward and backward, being a Green Hills kid. And, you know, you got a lot of guys leaving that school right now, going up to Winton Woods, open enrollment, you know, just another 5-10 minutes up the road.
You know, that's the whole climate of sports right now. Kids are going to go, whether it's high school or college, they're going to go where the program is doing the best at what they're good at, whether it's being in the band or being a football player or baseball or the drama club. The kids are going to go where they're going to have success.
You think about that community, some of the athletes that came out of there. I got a couple of odd ones here for you, Coach. If you remember back to the 1996 Olympic gold medal women's gymnastics team, Amanda Borden, a Finneytown resident that grew up in Finneytown, and then one of their all-time, and that's a great job by Hartman to pick that ball up and maintain possession. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to get to the second quarter. He just saved his team an earful.
Yeah, he just took his eye off it last minute and bobbled it, but got on it right away.
The all-time, I guess, most famous Finneytown football player, a guy by the name of Jeffrey Emmel, who was the CEO, longtime CEO of General Electric. You just think about the great people over on Fontainebleau and Winton Road over there at Finneytown. Tremendous history.
Boy, you every time I talk to you, you give me some amazing facts that I didn't know about.
Well, it's funny, when you walk into that gym, as I do every year to coach, Emmelt's high school jersey hanging up on the wall. And here's Alexander. He's going to run for 5. And Coach, with 1:38, are you working on anything? Your 2-minute drill? Are you working on something here with the clock, or are you just trying to get into the half?
You know, I think the first half is fair game for coaches to do what they need to do. And, you know, whatever he thinks they're struggling with or need to improve on, he should be absolutely working on it. This is what happens, though. Right now, it gets sloppy, and the kids kind of lose their focus, and the ball's on the ground, and football becomes kind of ugly. They got to avoid that, and especially get through this first half with good, clean football.
I talked about those 50-50 balls in basketball, and there we go again, another 50-50 ball, and guess who comes up with it? Your best player getting on the ground and making sure you keep possession. Hezekiah Davis for Finneytown was signaling Indian Hill ball, and he was right.
Yeah, another ball start.
Well, we're down under 30 seconds, Coach, and that might be all she wrote for this half.
Yeah, Finneytown had great athletes during my time. I went over there and played them, and actually, I had 1 year as the head girls basketball coach, and they had a really good girls program.
Let me ask you something. Is it true that girls listen better?
Girls, and I had zero experience except for my daughter, but girls have to know why you're doing what you're doing. At least this is my observation. When we would do a drill, they would want to know what the purpose is, and not in a disrespectful way. They just have to understand it. And then if you made them understand it, they would work at a different level. Where guys will just follow I said do it, just do it.
You gotta love it. Well, we're heading to the half. The Braves with a 42-0 lead. Both teams have agreed to come out in the second half, Coach, which is good news. And we've agreed to come back in the second half. Until then, Don Barker's going to lead this Indian Hill marching band out to glory. Please stay tuned and enjoy the show. We'll be back for the second half.
That's fine. You guys.
So we'll get probably a couple hundred, maybe 100 people watching now. We got some, but the vast majority, I think this will be up around 800,000 views by the middle of the week, maybe get a little bit Thursday, that kind of thing. People will want to watch the kids will be watching, and they're supposed to be doing work in math class. The whole thing, I mean, it really does. Cause
At this time, we are honored to celebrate and recognize members of the class of 2026 who have competed in the National Merit Scholarship Program. The National Merit Scholarship Competition is one of the most prestigious academic recognition in the nation. Each year, over 1.3 million students take the PSAT, the qualifying test, in hopes of advancing. High-scoring students are recognized as committed or semi-finalists. To be recognized at any level in this competition is a true testament to a student's hard work, academic excellence, and commitment to learning. Tonight, we are thrilled to announce members of the class of 2026 who have earned commended status. Madonna Bush. Madonna is exported from Tom and Tom Rabbi. Tom Rabbi. Jason Chin. Jason is exported by Jen and Ray Wynn. Grace Hughes. We would also like to recognize four additional students who have earned the committed status but are unable to join us this evening. Joseph Bongo, Pedro Higgins, Jay Eagle, and Caroline Weeks. Can we give a big round of applause for these outstanding students? scholarship competitions in the country and being selected as a semifinalist, they students in the top 1% of high school seniors nationwide. This remarkable accomplishment reflects not only their personal dedication, but also the support and encouragement of their families, teachers, and the entire Indian Hill community. Please join me in congratulating the following students who have achieved semifinalist status and will continue in the scholarship competition. Andrew Hughes. Andrew is escorted tonight by Ray. Sophie Tyndale. Sophie is escorted tonight by Christopher and Dan. We would also like to recognize Noah Kaufman, who has achieved semi-finalist status but was unable to attend this evening's recognition. Our semi-finalist students now have the opportunity to compete as finalists and get a potential scholarship award. We're incredibly proud of their achievements thus far and will continue to support them as they advance in this exciting journey. On behalf of our faculty and staff, we extend our heartfelt congratulations to all of the students that you see on the field today. Can we, one more time, give a resounding round of applause for the winning and semi-finalist students from the class of 2026. Congratulations and go Braves!
All right, football cheerleading fans, put your hands together for our cheerleaders as they make a tunnel for us tonight. All right, ladies, when your grade is called, step forward and wave those palms to the crowd. Once again, thank you for joining us for Youth Night, celebrating our cheerleaders and football players. How about our kindergarten and first grade cheerleaders? Step on out, shake those palms. Do we have any second graders here tonight? Step out, shake your palms. Third grade cheerleaders, step forward. How about our fourth graders, fourth grade? Fifth grade cheerleaders, are you here tonight? Sixth graders, sixth grade cheerleaders. How about a big round of applause for our middle school, 7th and 8th? And now for K1 football, led by Coach John Zerby. K1 football, come on out, let's go!
I gotta back in here. Run camera.
That's your K1 football team down to the end zone. We'll get one big group photo at the end. Second grade, Coach Mike O'Donnell, come on out. cheerleaders for their group photo.
It's on PTZ, so we can move it. Right now it's pointing at that group, that little joystick. We selected it on that panel.
All right, cheerleaders, great job. Thank you, cheerleaders. Football, stay right there. One group photo for football. All right, another big round of applause for football cheerleaders. Thank you, parents. I've heard there's a lot of candy and sugary pop in the concession stand. Youth football, if you can help us get the air out of the tunnel, it'll be down in just a minute. Hey fans, Indian Hill Athletics is proud to shine our alumni spotlight on two incredible Braves tonight. Ellie Palazzo, class of 2020, was a soccer state champion at Indian Hill and a standout midfielder for the Arkansas Razorbacks, earning all SEC honors and multiple academic awards. Bo Cordell, class of 2009, was a record-setting quarterback who led the Braves to 4 CHL titles, later becoming a Hall of Fame inductee at Tuskegee College, where he set 15 NCAA Division II records. Join us tonight in celebrating Ellie Palazzo and Bo Cordell, two Braves who continue to make us proud. Once a Brave, always a Brave.
Choose the Weiler way today. Tired of the traditional online car shopping experience? When you visit our Weiler websites and have a question, we have dealership professionals who will chat with you live. Rooted in family, driven by you.
All right, team. We got a long day ahead of us, but this is what we do. It's time to go to work. Yeah, let's get it.
We work, we get stuff done.
That's right.
No matter what the problem, we just roll up our sleeves.
We do.
Not afraid of the project,
Oh, no.
not afraid of the time.
Okay.
Say it, I'll build America, we always on time.
Let's get it.
We work, we get stuff done.
We do.
No matter what the problem,
Yeah.
we just roll up our sleeves.
That's right.
Not afraid of the project,
Oh, no.
not afraid of the time.
We
Say
got
it,
it.
I'll build America, we always on time.
Let's do
Listen,
it.
do you know the mission?
Huh?
Do you know the story?
Do you?
We've been at it for a minute,
Yeah.
so we're not here for the glory.
Oh, no.
We aggregate, crush rock, 24/7 non-stop. Our products high in calcium, low in that magnesium. We'll mix it up, then bag it. Y'all know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Blast.
Looking for a new home? You'll love SipsyKlein.com. For the latest new listings, price changes, and open houses, make it part of your everyday routine.
When a new listing is posted, I want to be among the first to find it. My secret weapon? SipsyKlein.com. I start each day with a cup of coffee, the latest new listings, price changes, and all the home buying tools I need.
That's just the beginning of what you'll find at SipsyKlein.com.
Have you ever dreamed of your money working for you? Now it's time to make it happen. Whether you're saving for the future, building wealth.
Welcome back. Second half action. Zero Youngblood with the return. The Indian Hill Braves with 6 touchdowns in the first half to lead this one 42-0. I'm Brian Shaw, joined by Indian Hill Hall of Fame coach Kevin Seipel. Back for second half action, and we have a running clock. So if you're going to get a sandwich, be quick. Looks like Finneytown having a little issue with substitution. Get their guys where they want them, and deep throw, and Fitzgerald once again, and a great play by Tyler Fitzgerald. Brandon Wise looking for his top target, Zaire Youngblood. And Tyler Fitzgerald with excellent coverage once again. Fitzgerald saying that side of the field is closed. I'm going to have to go elsewhere. Braves in the first half with great field position, a couple of Finneytown turnovers, and that's all it took to get this gap here in the game. And as we start the second half, Braves back out with the starters. And it looks like we're going to have a timeout. Finneytown, we're going to talk about it. A couple of notables in the crowd tonight. First of all, the spotlight was on Bo Cordell, the Indian Hill quarterback that went down to Tusculum, set some records at that level of football, and ultimately made his way to Montreal to play a little football for the Montreal Alouettes. Great to see that. And Bobby Slattery down there talking to the crowd. Coach Kevin Seipel catching up with a number of former players down there. And we found out that Brooks Bethel, freshman, number 27 for Indian Hill, is the grandson of the great Dick Bethel. For those of you that had kids that played soccer, I think Dick Bethel refereed soccer for about, 70 or 80 years here at Indian Hill. And here we have a breakaway for Finneytown, and that'll be Jail Youngblood, and it looks like he might have lost the ball at the end of that one. See if the Braves came up with it. The Braves are signaling they've got it. stay with Finneytown. Let's take a look here again at the end of the play. Great job by Hartman to dislodge the football, but Finneytown offensive lineman able to get on that ball. Great job there. Finneytown will maintain possession. Looking at scores around the city, right now the Elder Panthers are keeping that home field advantage at the pit and leading Bowler as they go to the half. John Rodenberg's LaSalle Lancers up on his former team, Ron Colley, 14-0 at the half. And boy, that ball took a while to get out there. Brandon Wise to Zier, Youngblood. Hartman originally in the coverage and on the stop. Helped by Jernigan. And Topher Wachtel out there. The Braves swarmed to the ball and no gain. So we're going to have a 2nd and 10. This Braves football team seeking to go 7-0 here in week 7. And we'll talk a little bit in the second half about the Region 16 that this Indian Hill team always tries to get out of, and a little bit about regions throughout the state. And Brandon Wise is going to try to go that way again, and Tyler Fitzgerald once again up to the task with coverage over there on Zaire Youngblood. Zaire Youngblood, 5'11", 160. And Tyler Fitzgerald, 5'10", 155. It's a good matchup out there, but Fitzgerald getting the better of him right now. Finneytown looking for something that works, something to get at least on the Indian Hill side of the field. It's been tough sledding so far tonight. Going to have a long 3rd down and 10. Wise looking downfield. He's going to throw downfield, but getting a little bit of pressure. And we're going to have a penalty at the line of scrimmage, and that ball's going to go out of bounds. Let's see what we've got penalty-wise here. Looked like that was against Finneytown, so that'll be declined. The Braves will take the football. Dylan Hartman back to receive. Finneytown's punter, Alex Anderson, has done an excellent job tonight getting the football out. He had one blocked, but the Braves have been coming just about every time. He's done a good job to get that ball out. And it looks like instead of Hartman, it'll be George Vollmer back to receive. Anderson gets it off. Vollmer with an opportunity, a fair catch. He comes up, makes the play. Great job once again by these Indian Hill return guys to get the ball and keep it off the ground. A lot of field position from that. And this Braves offense will go out once again. Devlin Daniel still in at quarterback. Looks like Jacob Alexander's going to be with him in the backfield. The Wyoming Cowboys up at the half big on the Madeira Mustangs. So starting to find out what it is here in the CHL. And be interesting to see with Wyoming having dropped that game at home decisively to Indian Hill, where they are when things turn to playoff time. A program that knows how to win in the postseason. Daniel to Vollmer. Vollmer around the right side. He gets to the edge, and he'll pick up 6 yards. Really nice play there for the Indian Hill Braves, and good job by Jaleel Youngblood to get him on the ground. Anderson up one score against Turpin. So the Turpin Spartans are back. Anderson, an awfully good football team, and Turpin doing a great job of hanging in there. And here's Alexander. Alexander's going to push forward for the first down. Great job by that line. to give him some room and give him some push at the end of that. And that'll be an Indian Hill first down just shy of midfield. Just 4 minutes left in this third quarter. Time flies when you're up by 42 and it's a running clock. Talking to Bobby Slattery at the half, and people are going to have plenty of time to get down to 50 West. The kitchen is still open. Vollmer in motion. Fake the handoff. Here comes Daniel. Daniel negotiating his way close to another first down. He might actually have it. Down to the 41-yard line of Finneytown. And that'll bring up a second and short. Can't say enough about this offensive line for Indian Hill and the job they've done to make things a little bit easier for these skilled position players. It's interesting, last year they had a very experienced offensive line and relatively inexperienced skill position players, and it's exactly the opposite this year with the exception of Drew Rader. And here's Jacob Alexander running for big yards once again. And the Braves will have another first down as we'll have a substitution. Ashton Graham going to come in and take the place of Jacob Alexander. Ashton Graham with a big first half, which could be said for a lot of these Braves. Fry in motion. The hand to Graham. Graham negotiating his way down to the 30-yard line, just inside the 30. Pickup of 5. It'll bring up a second and 5. And this Braves offense staying ahead of schedule. Starting to see a lot of substitutions here for the Braves. And one of those substitutions, we're going to have Ben Sitchell in at quarterback. Sitchell, a 6'2", 180-pound senior. He's played a lot of football at quarterback, played 4 years of quarterback. He's going to have some opportunity here the rest of the way. A handoff. Graham is tackled in the backfield. It's going to bring up a third after a loss of a couple. Call it 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6. So Braves starting to get guys in, and really one of the things that this time of year, obviously you want to get better in all the technical aspects of the game, but also get more guys experience and reward guys for all the work that they do during the week to make the team better. Then you got some guys expand their role. You never know what's going to happen. It's good to have multiple guys at multiple positions. And Sitchell's going to be caught in the backfield, and the Braves are going to have to punt the football. So the Braves, you know, Coach, you've been remarkably quiet for most of this third quarter.
Is that on?
I mean, you know, I think the people want to hear from the coach. I mean, I know you know.
I just ran into 3 or 4 kids I coached, and it is, I mean, I get emotional getting to see them. And
hey,
they introduced me to their wives and their kids.
Coach, we've got a 55, almost 56-yard attempt right here by Drew Seenan.
Wow.
And that ball's going to come up short, and it's going to be returnable here by Finneytown. And Finneytown out of the backfield, but they're not going to get anywhere. But, hey, I like the idea. I like it better from like 35, 40, just to give him a realistic opportunity.
When they tried it, I guess, I mean, he must have been able to do it in practice, or he wouldn't have. But it worked out just like a punt, I think.
It did. And you know what I love is, you know, you think back to that Auburn-Alabama game several years ago.
Oh, yeah.
You know, what a huge play that was. And I think more people are attuned to returning that now. And Finneytown Wildcats heads up football.
Well, and I think that's one of those things for tonight that he probably needed to work on. So hopefully later, you know, that'll be something they've learned from, and they're used to seeing.
Finneytown with a couple of great players that graduated last year. Evan Steinley is one of them, playing offensive line for the University of Findlay these days. And at the end of the third quarter, we've got a run out on the edge by Hezekiah Davis. Great run right there, and it looks like he's going to have a first down. So when we come back for the fourth quarter, Finneytown going to have a first down outside the 30-yard line.
Now that was a great sweep plan there. I mean, that young man was moving.
Coach, I've heard you say enough good things about Corey Johnson and the job he's doing at Finneytown tonight to have some hope for them going forward. Just got to get numbers up. You know, I mean, it's, as you mentioned, whether it's practicing during the week or having guys to substitute in, we're starting to see Indian Hill with mass substitutions.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to build. You know, usually your first head coaching job, you're getting that job because somebody got let go, and it's usually not a program in great shape, and it just takes some time. Unfortunately, it takes longer than you want it to, but you just got to stay the course and keep being positive with kids and get some support. I found that when I got the thing turned around here, it seemed like that's when I really started to relate and talk to parents. And when that parents, coaches, and kids all worked together, it really began to thrive.
Love to hear you say that, because I think there are so many coaches that are afraid of parents, want to keep an arm's length. And I always said, whether they're positive or negative, I want to have them close. Brandon Wise is going to hand it off to Youngblood. Youngblood's going to be tackled big time by Evan Riggs.
Yeah,
we're going to have a personal foul, looks like, out on the edge. I'm not sure what that's all about. See what this is, but they came in late, Coach. I would imagine there's, not sure. Looks like we're going to, it's going to be against Indian Hill. We're going to have some additional yardage. And he's, look at him counting out those steps, Coach. He's counting to 15. That's not easy under this pressure.
No, that's you got to really stepping off. Wow, wonder what that was.
Well, Finneytown with an opportunity to get past midfield here, and you don't say that mockingly. You say that because I love to see kids have success.
Nice throw, another.
Yep, good coverage out there by Ashton Graham on Youngblood, and boy, you're right. Ball comes out of his hand, doesn't it?
He throws the ball well. That play right there frustrates me so much because they do it in the pros too. If that receiver runs that route that close to the sideline, the quarterback has nowhere to put the ball.
Yeah.
That ball's supposed to be thrown to the outside shoulder, and the only way to do that is throw it out of bounds. So you've got to stay on those numbers, and then you can work to the sideline.
Yeah, and so tough to do if a defender doesn't give you leverage. You know, it's a tough thing to do. But it's got to be done, or else the throw really doesn't go there, because, to your point, not a whole lot of opportunity. Well, it's going to be 2nd and 10 for Wise.
Indian Hill defensive backs are rerouting the Wildcats. They're kind of pushing them and being aggressive, and that's really disrupted their timing.
Hezekiah Davis, the intended target for Wise there. That ball's going to be incomplete. It's going to be 3rd down and 10. Coach, we'll take a look a little bit at the Region 16, what's going on as the Braves look forward. Now, you couldn't do this when you were a coach, but we're just two guys up in the booth with a headset right now. And I'll tell you, I like it. I mean, you know, for all that this league isn't this year, it's not a real competitive year for this CHL. But, boy, you get into Region 16 between the Taft Senators, Indian Hill, CHCA, and Clinton Massey. And if Wyoming gets it together, and here's a wild snap, Wise going to try to pick it up. He does not do it. And it is going to be picked up by Evan Riggs. And that's going to take it all the way back to the 20-yard line. Indian Hill, once again, going to be in business. But let me throw out a couple of these wins that people have had. Of course, CHCA, good program, you know it well. Beat Aiken, which is a Division II school, and then beat Harrison. Harrison is a good football team. Harrison and East Central battled to a one-possession game this year. Indian Hill went out there last year or the year before and found out what Harrison's all about. That is a good program.
Yeah, that one surprised me. Harrison is, I don't know that I'd want to play them.
The Taft Senators beat a Withrow team that lost to LaSalle by just 9 points earlier this year. Beat them 39-0 and won a good, close, hard-fought game against the Alter Knights earlier in the season.
Now, they scare me. If I were...
That ambient is killing us. Daniel... Or I'm sorry, not Daniel.
There's a backup.
Yep.
See that? Oh, another flag.
It's going to be Brooks South with the carry. South with a nice run, but that...
Yeah, you mentioned Taft. I would not want to play them in the playoffs. They've got things going, and their speed and their athleticism, they're very, very well coached.
In Division IV football, coach, the one that I've got my eye on in the northeast part of the state up in Cleveland, Glenville. And you know Ted Gittin, Sr., Region 13, which would be the opposite side of a potential bracket. The wins for Region 4 Glenville, Massillon, Washington, a Region 2 school, Avon, Region 2, Olentangy Liberty, Region 1, John Adams, Region 2, and John Marshall, Region 1.
Wow.
And the best of them all might be a loss against Cleveland St. Edward, which is the Moeller, the St. X, the Elder, along with the St. Ignatius up in Cleveland, and they lost to them 28-14. Caleb Stubblefield with the run, and we're starting to see some of these young guys. And, Coach, this is an exciting time. You know, you think about all you ask these guys to do throughout the week, and then for them to get opportunity here, this is tremendous. We got Parlin Picton, Penn Picton's younger brother, out on the field. Graham Cook out on the field. Caleb Stubblefield.
Yeah, those kids work so hard and spend the same amount of time, and they get beat up. They get beat up in practice, and they absolutely deserve this.
Brooks Bethel, the grandson of the great Dick Bethel, 80 years of soccer officiating.
That's who I was just down there talking to, Dick Bethel. I love that man.
And then Danny Cousineau, number 26. What do you think about that last name, Cousineau?
The Cousineau name brings a smile to my face. I think he's a cousin. I called Case to find out, but I don't think he's Cole's, or I don't think he's from our Cousineau family.
Bobby Strickland, Jeremiah Westmoreland, still got some guys out there providing the protection. Earlston is out there.
I mean, when this senior class is gone, you've got to be ready to replace them, and this is when it happens. You got to give these guys some experience.
Denny, could you take that ambient pipe that you had out there for halftime? Can you grab it?
It's a very nice run. Looked like he wanted to throw it, and nobody was open, so he tucked it and got the edge.
And, Coach, that's something, when you don't get a lot of reps, I don't think people understand how impressive that is when you're doing that without a lot of reps.
It is. You know, these kids play both sides of the ball, and practice time, it's so limited that it's hard to, you know, and a JV game is very different.
Hey, Denny, can you cut the ambient mic? We can't hear anything. You're going to cut the ambient mic, please. I can't hear anything.
Another counter play, little delay, trap. This is quality time for these kids. They're not just taking a knee or running their base offense. Ooh,
Thanks to the great Denny Dupps, that ambient mic that we have down near the band. Boy, oh boy, we couldn't hear ourselves talk, guys. So sorry, my work hasn't been very good the last couple of minutes. We're Brook South looking, throwing, and it is a completion for a touchdown. Number 26, Danny Cousineau, there's your guy.
There he is. That was impressive to, throw over the middle like that.
We got a replay right here, Coach.
Look at that, right up the seam. He kind of threw him open into the middle.
Taking contact, holding on to the football, and Coach, that's a big time play by a couple young guys.
See, and that's so important for those young guys. But if you're over there on the Finneytown staff, you're thinking they just scored their 48th point on a pass, and that's why things go sideways.
Meyer McKee in for the extra point, and that's going to be blocked. So, Coach, we've talked a lot about Indian Hill and, how you're looking for ways to get better in situations that are not conducive necessarily. I mean, you'd love to be playing really tough physical games right now, but talk about it from the Finneytown side, because I think, people forget how hard it is to coach through what now is going to become a 1-6 season so far. And, how difficult that can be, because the coach, I think you'd agree, is probably doing a lot of really good things. And kids want to see results, and they get discouraged. And when things don't work, they start questioning things. I know you didn't have a lot of experience in that area, but nonetheless, you can appreciate it.
Well, no doubt. It's so hard, especially now, because everybody has an opinion, and they make their opinion known, whether it's online or Facebook, and you got parents coming at you, and you're trying so hard, you're working so hard to get it turned around, and it's just it's a grind, and you have to hope that the kids will stay with you, that they bought in, and they'll stay with you and kind of ignore the noise. But it's not easy.
And I think the one thing that I always think of, it doesn't matter the sport, but really what matters is what guys think in that locker room. And here's Youngblood once again. And he's going to get out just past the 20-yard line. But it's the guys that you're working with. Really, everybody else's opinion doesn't mean a whole lot. But if those guys can stay tight, and they can stay together, and they can define what their success is, it might not be winning more than a couple of CHL games. Their definition of success might be that every week they just start fixing holes or plugging holes and getting better. But it's tough for the seniors, because the seniors, they're not building towards something next year. The seniors, this is it, and it just feel for those kids like Wise, who's playing his heart out tonight, and the Youngbloods and Jacob Steele and Fogey. I mean, you got some really, really good ball players, just don't have numbers.
Yeah, and it takes time, and it's so easy if you've got team guys to stick together, but then when it goes bad, it really goes bad quick, and it's hard to keep it going, especially when you look at that schedule and you don't have a chance. And I've been in that situation. Every coach has, and it's character building. It's if you don't like getting beat like that, then do something about it and keep working hard so that that you get it stopped.
Well, that brings this one to a close, mercifully. 48-0 Braves over Finneytown. Next week, Indian Hill will be at Madeira. Easy travel. You don't need to book a hotel reservation or anything like that, so get out there and support the Braves. And for Finneytown, they'll host the Wyoming Cowboys next week, so back-to-back tough ones. But hopefully these kids get in the ice bath and get ready for a week with Wyoming. Just want to thank everybody, of course, Denny Dupps and Steve Overberg and Lucas Batchelor and everybody that Gino Cardozi, all the guys, Dylan McCullough, that made this possible, and most of all, Coach Seipel, I just want to thank you for being with us tonight. This was a treat. I hope the parents and the players listen to your words, because I think it's really helpful and instructive for them, and it was a blast for me.
No, I had a blast too, and I really appreciate it. I love coming here. It's, like I said, it's like coming home.
Well, everybody here feels the same way, Coach. And so for everybody that we mentioned and those that we didn't, appreciate you being with us tonight, and good night for the Braves. Until next time, which will be when the Braves come back here to play Reading in the final week of the season on October 24th. This is Brian Shaw for Kevin Seipel saying good night.
Exclusive coverage of tonight's game on the Indian Hill Television Network has been a copyrighted presentation of the Indian Hill High School Video Department.